Hello there. You've caught me just after a very large building session, and I've decided that today's episode of GTNH is going to start with a little bit of a lesson. Take your time. Do not be afraid to redo and take the extra time to take apart and rebuild in a different way, especially if you don't like something, because it will save you a lot of trouble mentally. And of course, I am specifically talking about right now, base building. So I've spent probably a good 5 hours or so, I would say, on this, and looking at it now, it really doesn't look like that much, but it went through multiple iterations, and I also spent a lot of time building, and I think I'm gonna try and do stuff about that this episode. But let me go ahead and show you the finished product of what I've done. I very much like this, and I would have time-lapsed it for you guys, but to be honest, I just repeated this pattern 4 times, so I didn't really super duper see the need. I figured a small little voiceover would be nice, and then I can just kind of talk about my thought process afterwards. So if you guys were around for Star Technology, you'll recognize this strip here and this color palette in general. And I spoke about how I really liked that. So I went ahead and I reflected that here, but obviously there's a few renditions. I really like this Vect block here. It kind of looks like a carpet. I don't know. I think it looks so good. I've also moved the B here from the middle to up here. That's so when I'm downstairs, I can still see the B. You guys didn't think there wouldn't be any Bs, huh? I mean, come on. Look at me. Look at me. I have not done the downstairs yet just because, well, to be honest, I'm kind of built out and I really want to get started on the episode. I'm kind of anxious. I need to get my Gregtech kick in, but I think I'm going to completely change how I end up doing down here. So this will probably change drastically in the future and this setup will most definitely be moved. But check this out. We're completely full on fuel. In fact, I think there's actually a quest to get heavy fuel. Yes, there is. And you know what? Why not? Let's start off today by opening this. What'd I get? Is this what I got? All right. Well, it was kind of trash. So now that my base building segment was finished for now, it was time to move on to something new. And I started off the grind today by making a portable scanner out of vanadium steel for the durability. And this is just the upgraded version of the Prospector. And after that, we started the usual batchcraft of circuits, hopefully this being the last one of this type of circuit that I'll have to do. Beautiful, another round of circuits. So today I have a few ambitious goals and we'll see if I'll be able to fit them all in one episode. I think if I try hard enough that I can. So next up in the quest book are some pretty big milestones, but I think I want to set up infrastructure rather than doing stuff kind of just on demand, because the stuff that we set up now, we're going to end up using for the rest of the time that we're in this base here, which is still probably hundreds of hours. I'm talking about silicone. Someone in the comments, I'll put the comment on screen. Thank you for correcting me on this. I think I'm probably going to keep saying silicone out of habit, and I think it's more fun to say, but thank you. That, and we're also going to need polyethylene here very soon. But I have something else on today's to-do list as well, and I think I'm going to try and do this every episode. I really want to upgrade my gear again, because right now I go to the nether and sometimes I just straight up die. And I promise the chickens do have something to do with this. Oh man, go back in there. So something else that I've made, if I could find it, which I cannot. Oh, here it is a soul vial. This just takes some solarium, which is something you unlock once you get the blast furnace. It's very easy to make. And this is pretty much just a golden lasso. I'm sure most of you know what a soul vial does. And it's going to allow us to do the first thing on today's to-do list very easily, which is to get infinite ender pearls. At least we're going to try, and I've already started trying. But what you can do is, since endermen can spawn infernal, if you put one in a smeltery, and I don't know if that's an infernal one. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. You can re-roll their infernalness. I don't know if that's the right word. And if you get a regenerating one in the smeltery, he will outlive the smeltery damage and you have infinite ender pearls. I'm sure everyone knows this at this point, but I mean, Might as well explain it, right? Are you gonna... Anyway, I'm gonna keep doing this throughout the episode, and eventually when I do get one, I will let you guys know. Okay, so apart from some basic gear, some ender pearls, what actually is on the table today specifically? Well, first up, I need a crossbow, a good one, and the quest book actually tells us how to make one. However, I'm going to opt out of that and make one that I found on the internet instead out of energetic alloy. Seems like a pretty good material for this, and we do have access to it now that we are in MV. So this requires a long chain of alloys, and we need raw silicon, and I'm not going to passive this just yet, but I will show the process. So in order to get raw silicon, you can combine magnesium and silicon dioxide to get you your raw silicon and magnesia, which magnesia you can then recycle back to get your magnesium, and you also get oxygen out of this. So it's a pretty good deal. And it's a very easy 2-step loop. Like I can just do this and then boom. Well, and here's where I realized, so one of the materials I was going to use was dark steel for the body, but energetic alloy needs Kanthal coils. All right, so let's do some progression. So in order to make Kanthal coils, we're going to Kanthal, which means we're going to need some MV energy hatches and silicon bules. Meaning we need to get silicon solar grade, which is just a chemical line. And here in the quest book, it even says we only need 2 single block chemical reactors. So lucky us, this is going to be quite a simple process actually. Again, just involving the 2 chemical reactors. So the first step is going to be hydrochloric acid and raw silicon. I really do think this is going to be as simple as this, by the way. So in this first chemical reactor, I put in my raw silicon, something that here in the future I do need to automate, but at the current moment, I really am just focused on getting my crossbow. I just want a crossbow, and we'll get MV energy hatches along the way. So raw silicon goes in with some empty cells and hydrochloric acid. And then I believe all I have to do is just output both of these into here on circuit 1, and then it'll give me my silicone solar grade. I mean, that's so easy. That is so easy. Check that out. And now a few minutes later, I should have my quest. There we go. There's my quest. So I do need to fix up the system a little bit because whenever this runs out of silicon, this can output into here, but I can just do that with a drawer in the middle, and that'll even it out anyway. I'm not going to do it right now. I do, however, want to make a silicon boule. Those silicon boules are just gallium arsenide crystals. I think it's actually small ones. I don't know if I have to do something. I have to forge hammer it. They're actually really, really cheap. It's just the silicon, which this is essentially free, and some gallium arsenide crystals on circuit 2. And this, I believe, takes... How many minutes is that? I don't know. It's a good amount of minutes. And then once this is finished, we just throw it through a cutting machine. We actually get some of these solar grade dust back. And we also get these wafers, which this is what we're going to use to make ULPICs, ULPIC chips, and then in conjunction, the MV energy hatch here, which everything else here we have. I think we just don't have a MV or LV laser engraver. So it turns out there's actually one more rabbit hole we have to go down, that rabbit hole being polyethylene. Luckily, I have all the machines for this, and I'm gonna automate this here in a minute. But again, I really just want this crossbow, and we're gonna grab some progression along the way. And I guess polyethylene is gonna be one of those. Luckily, it's very, very easy for us since we have those oil berries, something I'm very glad we invested time in, a lot of time in. But what did I need polyethylene for exactly for this next step? Well, I actually needed it to make, they're not in here, item filters, that's right, I already made it, to make a sifting machine, which I just chose an MV1 because I can. For a few reasons we need this. I needed a flawless diamond to make an MV lathe so that I could make the green lens needed to make, I believe it's the ULPICs, yes, which we need for the MV energy hatch. So, you know, welcome to Gregtech, right? And I've got to say, my backpacks and inventory are such a mess. I also made this, the quest book crossbow. I don't think I made it right, though. We're going to give it a shot. So I guess now is a good time to show how the prospector's scanner works, because I need to go to the Twilight Forest in search of Terra. And for those of you that don't know, Terra is a Thaumcraft material, and I wonder if I've already found one. Yes. Well, no, I haven't. Okay. I found one of the other ones here. This one has Perdicio and Ordo. Yeah, I need one of the other ones, the green one. But the Prospector Scanner is nice. It works in conjunction with the minimap. So if I right-click, I guess I have to bring a piece of rock with me, so stone or dirt will work. We can then see it just kind of reveals ore veins around us, which is very, very useful. Anywho, though, continuing to talk about Terra and all of the other Thaumcraft crystals, we're going to need some of them here pretty soon if we want to start magic, which I definitely do. I feel like I've never really done that much magic, especially on this channel and in general. When we're talking about like old astral sorcery, that's probably my favorite magic mod ever, but that one's not really in this pack. Ooh, we found it. Yeah, this crossbow's all right. Also going to make my MV lathe, which that should be a quest, I feel like. Yes, it is. And eventually we'll get the 9 of these that we need to make the plate. So now that we have 2 MV energy hatches, we can upgrade the electric blast furnace. And I don't think... Oh, we are going to need 4 combustion engines. Hold on. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I feel like I haven't really been running out of anything this episode. I always just have it in here. I've crafted a lot of extra stuff. Wow. Look at that circuit count. Wasn't this just like really high? Oh my... For real? We just made a bunch of these. Anywho. Hopefully that'll last us until we can make the better ones. So we are going to decommission these generators, which I actually I want to keep the fuel that's inside of here. It's kind of just a waste if I don't keep it. We're then going to get rid of these LV energy hatches, replace them with MV energy hatches. This should form. Combustion generators are put down. And then I've been using this annealed copper cable because it has less cable loss for MV. Hopefully no explosions, but we should, I'm not going to do that. We should now have an MV blast furnace. Oh yeah, which means, well now I need Canthal, I believe, to craft up the energetic alloy. Yeah, I do need Canthal. Oh, more stuff to do. But I think the Canthal is going to be the easy part of this. We just need some chrome, aluminum, and iron. Chrome kind of being the hard part, but I think I still have some. Oh, I have 1 piece. Okay, awesome. So to get chrome, it's better to do it through ruby juice, this small little line here, than just normally electrolyzing ruby, which is how you would get it normally, right? If I look here, ruby, if I were to just electrolyze this, it's 1 to 6. I believe it's 1 to 2, so 3 times better if you do it through the ruby juice line, which is just some sodium hydroxide, ruby, hydrochloric acid, and the hydrochloric acid actually gets recycled right back. So what you can do, I believe you can just do this. I can send this, it is through the centrifuge, right? Yes, on circuit 1. This is going to make chrome and some aluminum hydroxide. Hydrochloric acid will get sent back here, and I just have to fill this with ruby, and this will just go now. It's very, very easy to do. It's kind of like the process down here with the silicon. And if you're curious, this is also how we're going to get stainless steel, the chrome for stainless steel, through this exact same process. Look at how easy this is, by the way. Yeah, just from ruby. That's amazing. So we're going to need 2 stacks of Canthal total, because we're going to need 16 Canthal coils, meaning we need 128 Canthal wires, 2 stacks of Canthal, meaning I need 43 pieces of chrome. Luckily though, when we went mining in the nether for redstone earlier in the episode, there was a lot of ruby as well. So this should do us very nicely. So since Canthal comes out as a hot ingot, we actually need to cool it down inside of a chemical bath with some IC2 coolant in this. I probably should have been doing while it was going at the same time, but you know, here I am. And the IC2 coolant is pretty simple to get. It's just a mixer with some lapis and distilled water or water. And the neat thing about the coolant is that it's, I'm pretty sure, completely recyclable. So what you can do is you can use a heat vent from Industrial Craft 2 to cool the hot coolant down. And this is also said in the quest book, if you guys must know. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, on this chemical bath, has to be MV, fluid auto output, and then I'm going to have a pump right here. So now when I put my coolant into here and my hot Canthal, that's going to go, it sounds like a toilet. It sounds like a toilet. We're going to mute that. But then whenever this is done, the coolant should go into here. I should be able to put this heat vent down as a cover, and it'll cool it down. This does have durability, but they are really, really cheap to make. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw how easy this was. In fact, it's even cheaper inside of an assembler. Not that aluminum and iron is extremely expensive though. So we should see over here, this, I think, oh, I see, it must be next to a water source. Gotcha. So if I instead do something like this, water, and then I have the heat vent. Yes, it turns back into the coolant and then it goes back in there. How nifty is that? Perfect. So I honestly, I doubt I'm going to run out of the durability on the fan, but if I do, I'll deal with it when that happens. And so once I get the Kanthal, I'll be able to make Kanthal coils. And honestly, there's so much more we can do after that, including our crossbow. Yeah, I don't know how many hours that was. I was just going around doing stuff with this Kanthal coil. Oh my god. Yeah, so recap, I had to get mica, which I found luckily over here. And thanks to my Fortune 3 hammer, I mean, I have so much. I think I'll be fine, really. I like, seriously, I have a lot. So hopefully that'll last us for a while. I think it will, but we can now tear this apart. This takes forever. Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me. But, boom. Should be, yes, running fine. Oh my gosh. And now that means I should be able to run this. I'm gonna have to do it. Ooh. Oh man, I don't think I have that much hydrogen. I mean, I can look, but I doubt I have enough of that. Holy smokes, that's gonna be a long recipe. Yes, and then we get 1 energetic alloy per 40 seconds because this is actually being overclocked. But anyway, I want to get those going while I'm talking here, because what else have I done? Oh yeah. So I went ahead and I included this in the montage. I think I did. I haven't actually edited it yet, but there's a few things I want to address with this. Oh yeah, see? Look at that, because this wasn't able to keep up, huh? I have pretty much automated silicon solar grade, with the one bottleneck being the fact that I don't have a super tank. Which now that I have polyethylene, I'm actually pretty sure I can do. I don't have the polyethylene on passive yet, but I can still do it. But basically the way this works, it's very similar to modern actually. It's almost exactly the same. You can automate oxygen from this. You can automate silicon from this. Yeah, almost identical to modern, except you don't, it's the same actually. So it just comes from cobblestone turning into flint silicon dioxide, which then goes through the whole looping, which is these two machines right here. This should still be going if there was oxygen storage, which I have so much stored now. I have no cells to move fluids around. Ugh, it's a whole mess. We got to get super tanks going, but that goes and does the loop. And this is what we set up earlier. Now I just got to do that, but with polyethylene, which is going to be not as complicated actually, because we have oil. But we're going to do that here in a minute. I want this crossbow, which I think now I might be able to do. I just need one more piece of energetic alloy, and look at that. Was I really talking for that long? But now after some waiting, oh my, this is going to be, oh, look at this. Woo! Oh, this is going to be awesome. Alrighty, so after waiting like 5.5 minutes for the new bolts, I'm gonna need some more leaves because I made the other ones backwards. I made them with the vanadium steel rod and the energetic alloy tip. It needed to be the other way around. Yeah, the weight is a lot less. Look at this. 8.3 to 0.1. You don't say. Yeah, no wonder this wasn't doing any damage. I was testing. I was like, huh, the thing I was reading online said I was supposed to be one-shotting everything. I think I see why. Ooh, but mobs beware. I am about to be an absolute problem. Alrighty, let's try this out. This should be, again, much less weight, so 8.3 down to 5.7 here. The attack is, oh wow, that is a lot better. Let's give this a shot. And you know what? I know exactly what we're going to try it on first. I believe this is the right spot. Alrighty, let's do a little bit of a boss fight. Oh wow, that does a good amount of damage. Is he stuck? Where'd he go? I 3-shot him. Oh, sweet. Cool. So we've killed the Naga. All right, can gladly say that this was a worthwhile investment, though it wasn't really too much of an investment because we had to get here anyway. So what is next? Well, I really need to automate. Well, I don't need to, but I want to automate polyethylene. That's kind of why I purposely haven't completed these quests yet, even though I do have polyethylene. With the end goal today that I'm able to get past these circuits as fast as possible. I hate these circuits. I hate them just as much in Modern 2. They're supposed to be cheaper, but it really doesn't feel like they are. And the faster I get to, well, making, I think it's 4 of these circuits to get the MV circuit assembler, yada yada, we get better circuits with polyethylene, and for that I'm definitely going to want it on passive. So I'm currently making some pulsating iron for a few super tanks. This is going to make polyethylene a little bit easier because I can store a lot of that oxygen a lot better. And I do kind of know I'm making a mistake again, by the way, by making another setup here when I know I'm going to change this area. But what I might do in the future is I might just integrate these setups into the wall. Yeah, I want to change down here though, because I don't really want this pathway to be the ceiling. I want the walls to go a little shorter. Anyway, I'm yapping away. So just like our setup over here, we're gonna start with oil. I believe we're also gonna turn our oil into light fuel for ethylene, if I'm not mistaken. And then from there, we're just gonna turn it into ethylene. And again, I'm sorry, there's no way I can make a setup on camera. I'm gonna mess it up, it's gonna be all jank, so I'm gonna, now that I've explained kind of the gist of it, I'm gonna come back when it's built, and then I'll explain what I'm doing from there. You know, the amount of times that one of these cuts has been a few hours. It takes a long time. So here is the polyethylene setup. I'm gonna mute some of this. So I'm actually not using light fuel. I'm using refinery gas because you get more ethylene out of it. And of course, as you can see, I've already solidified some of the polyethylene from this setup. This is pretty much the exact same setup that we have over here, where it goes into an MV electrolyzer. That's somewhere over here. I think it's over here. Yep. To recycle the hydrogen for this process here. Again, I don't have LCRs yet, so I'm having to use some cells shenanigans with the fluid tanks, but again, we've done that before. So something else I want to mention is while I was doing polyethylene, I managed to get one of the regenerating endermen. I'm not going to look in there. His name is Gregtech Horizons, GTEH. Just removing the N, and now it's an E because he's an enderman, and now we have infinite ender pearls. Thought I'd mention that. And this redstone clock is what's making this smeltery drain automatically drain into this cast, getting the drawers. And this isn't too hard to make. So yes, hour by hour, we are slowly we're getting good. We're getting good. I'm a huge fan of this crossbow. It does so much damage. Oh my god. Look at this. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't wait to, I want to like plow through the Twilight Forest with this around when we get to HV. And I want to do some magic soon too, like really soon, like maybe next episode soon. We'll see. I want to get stainless steel first, and I kind of want to get the better circuits using plastic circuit boards first, but we'll see. I might be, I've never played with Thaumcraft before, so I really want to. Maybe I'll be eating my words later. I know Touche didn't like it. So I can also now make my first super tanks. This should give me a quest. Oh yes. And I'm going to start storing oxygen inside of this super tank. Oh yeah, I'm going to lock this to oxygen. So now I should be permanently making oxygen and also my silicon solar grade, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And here I am going to... overflow void. So whenever this reaches the full capacity of, does that say 2 billion liters? Am I seeing that right? No. It should be 4 million. I think that's a visual glitch. Yeah, for sure, that's a visual glitch. But if you see it, the tooltip there at the bottom right, 4 million. So whenever it reaches that cap, it's just going to start voiding it, which I'm fine with. I'm not going to lie. I don't need more than 4 million oxygen at this point in the game. But it also means I can store my polyethylene inside of a super tank. Again, gonna lock this, and now, yep, I just have polyethylene, just like that. Check that out. That's really cool. I have polyethylene done. Wow, I remember, it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but I have been playing GTH for a few months now, I think. I feel like I'm progressing pretty fast. I don't know. I don't think I'm rushing by any means, but we have polyethylene. That feels pretty big. It's one of the first processing lines, so I feel pretty happy about that. But after the countless hours that today's episode took, I don't know how much I was playing last time, but yeah, we're up to 134 hours. I think there's been, I don't know. It's a long time has gone into this episode. So thank you all so much for watching. Next time, we're going to do something exciting. I don't know what it'll be yet. It'll either be the HV circuits, magic, both. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more of me and more of GTNH. Hit the like button. It makes my day. I always love the tips and tricks you give me. Like, what was the one? Saying silicon and silicone are different? I know that's not a tip or trick, but I did like that comment because I didn't know that. So thank you all so much for the support on this series as well. And I will see you guys in the next episode of GTNH. Later!